Well, it's kind of funny. It is kind of funny. You know, so I'm watching the news here during the breaks. I know it really isn't the news. It's just the short way to tell you what I'm watching. I mean, I could say I'm watching the daily Democrat agenda, which is really what the news is. And, you know, all the networks have their reporters in Hawaii with Obama, covering Obama's every move. That's what White House reporters do. Well, I've gotten to know a little bit about Hawaii as a sometimes multi-times-a-year visitor. And all of these reporters are standing on the beach at Waikiki, and I can tell this because you see Diamond Head in the background. The only problem with that is Obama isn't staying on Waikiki. He's nowhere near Waikiki, and he couldn't be in Waikiki having lunch because it's only 8 a.m. in Hawaii right now. I doubt he would come into Waikiki for breakfast. Obama's on a completely different, if Oahu perfectly aligned north and south, east, and west, he would be on what would be the northeast side of the island. But there is no way that Obama might see Coco Head from where, but he's not going to see Diamond Head. Not like it's seen. It's just these guys. My point is, these guys are not with Obama. They're on the beach at Waikiki while reporting on Obama. And I just find it funny. I don't know why, but I just do. Anyway, folks, great to have you back. Rush Limbaugh, the EIB Network, and the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. President Obama's USA Today. President Obama, a sports fan who makes a living dealing with political issues, says that more sports stars should speak out on public matters. In an interview with People magazine, Obama praised LeBron James and other athletes who protested grand jury refusals to indict police officers involved in the deaths of African-American males. Obama said, I think LeBron did the right thing, he told People, referring to the decision by the Cleveland Cavaliers to wear an I Can't Breathe T-shirt at a recent game. Obama noted there's been a rich tradition of athletes speaking out on public issues, particularly during the volatile 1960s. We forget the role that Muhammad Ali, Arthur Ashe, and Bill Russell played in raising consciousness, the president said. But that tradition has dimmed in recent years. We went through a long stretch with well-paid athletes. The notion was just be quiet, get your endorsements, and don't make any waves. LeBron is an example of a young man who has, in his own way, a respectful way, tried to say, I'm part of this society too, and focus attention. I'd like to see more athletes do that. Not just around this issue, but around a range of issues. He might be surprised at what he would get there if that happened. Interestingly enough, I have had numerous conversations about this very subject with people that have worked in executive positions in the media, and with some owners of sports franchises and so forth. And believe me, everybody's uncomfortable with it. On the endorsements, for example, you know how much money Michael Jordan did on eBay last year? You want to take a guess? Take a stab at just eBay, Michael Jordan stuff on eBay this past year. Try $175 million. Michael Jordan, you may know, you may not know, he's a Democrat, but he also knows that Republicans buy tennis shoes, and he doesn't want to tick them off. So that's been the largest reason why a lot of athletes have not gone political. Is as polarized as society is, you literally would anger half of your fan base if you did. It's why General Powell, tried to run for president without enunciating his position on abortion. He didn't want to disturb his 75% approval rating that he had. But the big point about this is that I think Obama did the right thing. Obama saying LeBron James did the right thing in protesting grand jury refusals. See, this is where this breaks down. Do you know what? Do you think justice, if I were to make a statement to you, the justice system is about finding the truth, would you say yes or no? Justice system or justice, I can remember, I'll remember till the day I die, my dad's long dissertations on this subject at the dinner table. And it was complicated trying to understand it. So I'm going to synthesize as best I can what he said. But do you believe that the justice system or justice is about finding the truth? If you said no, you are closer to being right than not. So if the justice system is not about finding the truth, what is it? The justice system, and this is, by the way, this is going to infuriate some, which is going to end up making the point. The justice system is about the peaceful, it's about the peaceful resolution of disputes. Now, it's never going to get everything exactly right, and that's the point. When it doesn't go your way, you still respect it. If it's going to work, if the justice system is going to work, it has to be respected, whether it goes your way in a particular case or not. And you have to know that it usually, it's never going to go totally your way all the time. The justice system is like any other system set up and devised by mortal human beings. It is flawed. It isn't perfect. Our justice system is forged by our founders, forged from what they believed the best systems at the time from all over the world in history. The British judicial system is different from ours. I mean, they've got a Miranda warning. You need a dictionary to follow it, but they've got one, for example. But the British don't have a constitution. There is no UK constitution. There's no the EU people might have tried for one, but Great Britain itself never has had a constitution. But yet they do have their own system of justice. The president, instead of, this is incendiary to go out and say, we need more athletes speaking up against grand jury. No, unless you're trying to tear down the system. And look, no, I know, you're going to have grievance. We have, the whole Democrat Party now is one big grievance industry. And they're going to claim that they never get a break, and it always is a stacked deck against them. That isn't true. Especially now, it isn't true. My God, we've been over backwards some of the other way. I mean, look how the cops almost sometimes give up trying to catch bad guys because how quickly they're released now. Technicality here, technicality there. We've swung so far the other way now that affirmative action. I mean, there's any number of steps that we have taken here to quote unquote try to make amends for our original sin of slavery. But the grievance industry is not going to acknowledge any of them. The grievance industry is based on the fact there hasn't been any progress. The grievance industry is the Democrat Party and the civil rights coalitions that make up that particular facet of it, and there never can be permitted an acknowledgement of any success or of any improvement. But the legal system, you try to tell people justice isn't about right or wrong. Justice isn't about the truth, and you'll lose them because they think that's civics 101. The purpose of a trial is to get to the truth. Not for the defense. 9 times out of 10, the defense is trying to obfuscate the truth or create doubt about the truth left and right. If the justice system were about the truth, the defendants would be required to confess. The justice system is about the peaceful resolution of disputes with the full recognition it's not always going to go your way. We have so many built-in safeguards. The idea, look, I'll tell you what's repugnant in our system in terms of people that founded it. It was the thing that just scared them most was wrong convictions. Our justice system bends over backwards to make sure that the innocent are not convicted. That's why the appeals process is what it is, and it's even been expanded upon. What did you say about injustice? What was your question about injustice? What is the perspective on injustice? I need a specific. What do you mean a perspective on injustice? Largely, I mean, look, I'm trying to give you an umbrella explanation for it. I've told you at the outset that there's going to be, for everybody that hears me, there's going to be, well, wait, what about X? So we're going to have to use, if we wanted to delve into this deeply, we'd have to, I mean, really, really get into the weeds on it. And I understand that. I mean, if it's easier for people to think that the purpose of the justice system is to find the truth, go ahead. I'm not trying to talk anybody out of that, but that's not really what it is. But there are a lot of assumptions made here, by the way. Assumption that everybody's going to be honorable. Assumption that everybody's going to accept results. Assumption that it was fair. You know, if any of those assumptions go by the wayside, then the hell with peaceful. That's not going to be part of the resolution. And then you have the people that don't like the justice system anyway, or think it's bogus and rigged and so forth. So we're trying to destroy it. I think it's amazing it's lasted this length of time with as many assaults. But I'll tell you how bastardized it's gotten. You know how bastardized it's gotten? It's gotten to the point now where whatever ends up being disputed in terms of legislation and politics, 9 people who wear black robes now determine what's legal and what isn't. Everybody has knowingly invested in that proposition. The Supreme Court is the final word. And that's, particularly on political matters, is a little risky. But even then, you have to realize you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. I realize here that the attempted simplified explanation of the justice system is not about truth. That makes people sit up. What do you mean it's not about truth? If it were, then the defendants who were guilty would have to confess. Well, no, Mr. Limbaugh, because you have to prove it. And therein, you have now just unknowingly perhaps made my point. It isn't about the truth. A trial. Is it about the truth? A trial about perceptions? Trial about theatrics? Is a trial about performances? There are a lot of factors, characteristics here. But look, my overall point is the justice system used to be a backstop. It used to have the moral authority just by virtue of its own existence. And it could have, and I said this on Fox News Sunday, the president not been out there inciting anger over grand jury decisions. That is the height of irresponsibility. Go out and praise LeBron James for disagreeing with a grand jury decision and urging more athletes to take up steps and action or whatever against grand jury. No. Presidents, attorneys general ought to be coming out and explaining to people the grand jury system and telling them what all went on here and giving them as much of the evidence that was presented as possible to show them why what happened was the truth. But there doesn't seem to be anybody in this administration, certainly not the mayor of New York City, certainly not the Civil Rights Coalition. Nobody seems to be interested at all in trying to quell any of this upset. Okay, let me take a time out now. We'll do that, and there's stuff besides all this out there. Of course, there always is. See, we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by things for the whole show, anyway. So we'll come back and we'll get started on the phones as the program continues to unfold before your very ears. Do not go away.